learn what it is about your pitch, your presentation, how your company comes across that may help you refine your message as well as refine who you're targeting in the future. Teaming up with suppliers. Many suppliers have promotional programs. You want to make sure you take advantage of those. And you also want to talk to suppliers about how you and they together can cover more ground. You can do the same thing with customers. Customers are looking to expand right now, and if you're helping them do that, you're going to be part of the inside team. Expert advisor is one that obviously we're doing here at Strategy Leaders, and we've been doing for a number of years now through the Ask Andi. So we've created a name for ourselves in giving out expert advice, and what you want to do there is make sure that the advice you're giving is sound, it's reasonable, that you are knowledgeable about your subject, and that you continue to research. For example, the Ask Andi articles that we write, we actually put about 10 hours a week into putting those together to make sure that we are getting information from all kinds of sources to make it a better tool for the people that we're sending it out to. Client roundtables, this is an opportunity to bring clients together and get them all in a room. Perhaps you invite some prospects as well so they get to rub shoulders and learn what your community is about. Benchmarking is a good way to figure out if you are actually getting done what you want to get done in a particular area by comparing the results you're getting to what someone else similar to you is getting. And one of the things that you want to think about as you look at this whole list is in today's world, it's about knowing who your customer is and building a community of like-minded people who want to be together with you. Any other questions, Kathy? Should we keep going?
Actually, we did get one in. Can you speak a little bit more about SEO?
Sure. I didn't talk about that much at all. So search engine optimization is becoming an increasingly complex topic, and search engine optimization is all about creating a presence on the Internet because you are identified and sought out by people who are looking for information on the Internet. So what do I mean by that? Well, when we go and look for something on Google or any of the other search engines, you have to think about it kind of like a newspaper. Whatever we're searching for, there's above the fold and below the fold. So what shows up in that newspaper rack because the newspaper is face up, and what doesn't show because the newspaper is face down or it's on one of the inside pages. The goal is for some of the search topics that you believe are aligned well with what you do to be above the fold on page 1. The best way to do that is to be geographically targeted. So rather than trying to be #1 in business consulting worldwide, strategy leaders would want to be #1 in business consulting in Westchester or Fairfield County or in the Hudson Valley. The chances of them being above the fold because you're geo-targeted are much greater. You also want to think about who your target market is and what words that they are looking at. And you can get at this by test advertising and finding out what kinds of responses you have. There are lots of reports available from Google Analytics, for example, and other services. And there actually are even tutorials if you go to Google Analytics. There are lots of firms out there that will help you with search engine optimization. And here, I've got to tell you, be really careful because there are a lot of charlatans in this industry. There are a lot of black hats, and their shtick sounds really good. They've got a great pitch, and you can spend a lot of money and get very little traction. This is a long game. You want to be able to build up your presence on the Internet over time, and the foundation for doing that is to make sure that you do have a website that is actually technically correct from a programming point of view. That's a trap we got into a few years ago where our website was actually improperly programmed, so even though we had the right words there, they weren't being read properly by Google, and that cost us a couple of years. So it can be a very frustrating area. It's an area that if you don't have a lot of experience, you really want to make sure that you have someone who's working with you who knows what they're doing. I think I'd also like to comment on the social media a little bit. In complement to that, social media is all about driving people to your company, particularly to the website and to other ways to connect with you. And my general advice is get a 22-year-old to work with you on this. Why do I say that? Because they just live social media. It's their form of telephone. And they understand it, they do it intuitively, and it's easy for them to keep researching and coming up with new ideas. There are lots of good books out there. If you go to the Ask Andi website, you can find some on social media, some recommendations on social media books. And at the same time, there are also some good firms out there who do social media, and Josh is going to be talking a little bit more about this area when he gets to his webinar next week. So if you've got more questions about this, it's one of the hot topics, social media and SEO, and I encourage you to come back next week and sign up for next week's webinar. Any other questions, Kathy?
Not right now.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay. So here's your marketing next steps. You want to go through the list of all the things that you could possibly do and pick 4 things to test. When you look at this list of 4 things to test, you've got to obviously take into account your budget and how much money you have available to spend over what period of time. Make sure that you have enough budget to be able to stay in the game long enough with the activities that you've chosen. You want to talk to an expert, somebody who's tried it before, and find out what they've learned. So both the mistakes they've made and the successes they've had. So ramp up your learning curve by learning based on what somebody else has already been through. And then you want to build a team of people, others who are trying to do the same thing and others who can help you. And don't try and do marketing on your own because, first of all, you're going to get distracted with the day-to-day of the business. You won't be regular enough with it. It's lonely playing a long game with uncertain results. And it also is something where brainstorming by yourself can be a very quiet and unproductive thing to do. So pick 4 things to test. This webinar will be up on the Dutchess County Economic Development website, so you can go back to the list of things we were just looking at, talk to experts who've tried it before, and build a team. Get other people in your company, get vendors, decide who's going to work with you on this. So now let's move on to sales and goal setting and sales. And we're going to start with another survey question. What best describes your 2011 sales baseline? So not sure about the goals for 2011. Expect to be lower than, there's a typo. Expect to be lower than 2010. And planning to do the same as 2010. So just correct what you're reading there on statements 2 and 3 to 2010. Shooting to beat 2010 by up to 10%, shooting to beat 2010 by more than 10%. So if you can pick an answer that best fits where you are, and we'll take a look at the results in just a second. How are we doing for answers there, Kathy?
They're coming in a little slow, but they're coming.
Okay, so people are thinking about it,
Yeah.
which is actually very typical of where we are today. It's been a very uncertain economy for a couple of years now. It's been hard to predict. We've been through a lot of businesses have been through some tough times. We're hopeful that things are moving forward, and I can tell you without wanting to sway these results too much, but for the most part, things are picking up. There are still businesses out there that aren't going to make it, but the businesses that are pretty confident about making it are already starting to put their sights on their growth plans as they move into 2011 and start thinking about 2012 as well.
Okay, we've got 87% in, so I think we're good.
Okay. So 38% not sure about their goals for 2011. 23% shooting to beat it by up to 10%, and 38%